Good afternoon, welcome to this week's edition of Four Wheels and a Seat. My name's Alex Dalrymple. This is my channel where I review new cars every week. Really aimed towards people who might be thinking about buying a new car and don't know which one to get. I can help you out with a pretty simple, straightforward review. If you enjoyed the video, please do give me a like, hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget the notification bell. Today I'm in the 2025 Mini Cooper S JCW. I went to the launch of this car up on the Gold Coast earlier this year, had a bit of a track day. You can check out that review by clicking the link just up there. So it's important to mention that this is a normal Cooper S with the JCW body kit. It's not a full-fledged JCW car, and outwardly the easiest way you can tell the difference between the two is to have a look at the back and see what the exhaust looks like. If there's just one exhaust pipe on its own, it's a proper JCW. If there's none, like this car, then it's a normal Cooper S. Difference being the JCW gets a fair bit more performance. Here we get sort of a mid-range level of performance, not as good as the top spec JCW, but also better than the entry level. And also we get the body kit and the nice comfy squishy parts as well. Now, enjoying a car out on a track day is one thing, but living with it for a week is a completely different story. But I'm pleased to say, still extremely enjoyable. So let's take a look at the outside of this car. I think it looks pretty good, especially in this bluey, greeny kind of paint finish that, I don't know, I think of it as a Tiffany box. It looks like something that you'd put an expensive necklace or ring in. So the JCW trim cars get gloss black finish on the front grille, your choice of 17 or 18-inch wheels. This particular car has 17-inch gloss black alloys. We've got racing stripes on the bonnet, a black roof. The wheel arches are gloss black. Around the back, we've got a spoiler up on top, rear diffuser down the bottom, and blacked out mini badges. I really like the rear light clusters that continue the Union Jack theme from the previous model, although now they are made up of lots of small LEDs and they put on a little bit of a performance for you when you approach the car. That's quite a nice touch that appeals to me. A three-door Mini, well, you're not going to buy it for practicality, and that's quite true in the boot as well. I mean, there's 210 litres of space. You're not getting much more in there than maybe a medium-sized supermarket shop. I can get my backpack in there. When I put the rear seats down during the week to take my mother to a doctor's appointment, I could get her walking frame in there quite comfortably. There's actually 725 litres of space with the rear seats down. So there is some degree of practicality there, but of course you're not carrying any backseat passengers then. So as I mentioned, the Cooper S JCW kind of gets a mid-range engine selection. It's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo that outputs 150 kilowatts and 360 newton meters of torque, which is quite a bit for a car that's this size. I mean, it's not very big. And if you can believe it, the JCW is even more powerful yet again, but I don't have that today, of course. Fuel economy averages in at 6.3 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle, and 0 to 100 is accomplished in 6.6 seconds. Power goes to the front wheels only via a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. The interiors of all the Minis are pretty much the same. What differs is the treatment of some of the colours and, you know, some of the accessories with the seating and stuff like that. So here in the Cooper S JCW, we've got a nice red racing stripe type finish up here on the cloth dashboard, and leather wrapped steering wheel, quite chunky I might add, and minimal controls down here underneath, essentially just the gear shifter, the engine starter, and your experiences mode. The entire cabin is really dominated by this giant 240mm round screen that is absolutely amazing. It is quite different to any other car software you will encounter. It's just so bespoke towards Mini, and I really like it. Now, there's a lot of customization available in this system. You could sit here, I could do an entire video just talking about how this system works and everything you can go through. There's a number of different drive experiences. Only a few of them actually really affect the performance of the car. By default, the car starts in Core, which is like your normal driving mode. Then there's Go-kart, my personal favorite, Green, Eco, Personal, Vivid, Timeless, and Balance. Now, most of those, apart from green, go-kart and core, they don't really do anything different to the performance of this car. But go-kart, which if you're an enthusiastic driver is really where you want to be, is a different story. It certainly becomes a lot more enthusiastic and a lot more fun to drive. There's a bit more sensitivity going on with the acceleration. It feels like the suspension is firming up. It could be my imagination, but it feels a lot more go-kart-like, for the want of a better term. It certainly feels a lot firmer. And if you have the misfortune of going across a pothole, which, because of all the rain that we've had in recent months, there are quite a few on our roads at the moment, you really notice it. It is very unpleasant going over potholes in this car. Also, some speed humps are just horrendous. You really have to come to a dead stop to go over those. So 0 to 100 in the Mini Cooper S JCW is 6.6 seconds according to the official stats. I'm going to see what that's like by putting the car into S mode for the transmission. I'm in go-kart mode already. I'm going to bring the car to a stop, hit the boost pedal, and away we go. Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's not earth-shattering. 6.6 seconds is not record-breaking, but for a car this size, that's this small, this low to the ground, that was a lot of fun. And I quite like the theatre of it. The noise, even though it's mostly artificial, the boost graphics on the dash, it just sort of adds a bit of fun to it. So within each of those drive modes, there are a few different things you can change about the performance of this car and sort of effectively design your own drive mode. But you get more options in the top spec JCW than you do here. One of my favourite features that this car gets that a previous Mini I reviewed did not have is paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and it makes such a difference to be able to just shift gears manually if you want. You can go full automatic, but if you put it into manual, this car acts like a proper manual. It won't shift gears without you. Listen to that. Oh, we're redlining there. This car, like a lot of BMWs, can also park itself. There's automatic parking. The images from the reversing cameras are nice and sharp and clear. And there is also a Harman Kardon sound system, makes a really nice noise. Speaking of noise, there is artificial engine noise. You can turn that off. I actually quite like it. I think it adds to the theatre of the experience of driving this car. However, when you're cruising along the freeway at 80 like I am right now, it does kind of drone on a little bit. It's just always there, and it gets a little bit tiring. So I am tempted to turn it off. Climate controls also controlled exclusively through this screen. They're always on the screen and quite easy to reach and turn on and off, along with the seat heating and steering wheel controls. The seats are faux leather and they are actually quite comfortable, sporting buckets. They are heated, full electric control in the JCW model that I'm in today. Not all cars get that though. Lumbar support is also really good. And you know, I'm 190 centimeters tall. I fit in this car very comfortably. It's not like getting into an MX-5, which, you know, I really struggle to get into. But this is actually really quite good. Plenty of headroom. I can, you know, so long as there's no one sitting behind me, I can get comfortable in this car very easily. This car really does feel a bit like a go-kart to drive. It corners, to quote Vivian from Pretty Woman, like it's on rails. You point it, it goes. And that is terrific when you're darting in and out of city traffic. Because this car is so small and so maneuverable, it is just so easy to kind of throw it around, get in there, get in and out of trouble as you need to. Is the Mini Cooper S JCW a turn-back car, a car so good looking that you have to turn back and look at it after you parked it? Look, I mean, the Mini design has been around for a very long time, and it really hasn't changed, and nor should it. So, and you perhaps don't really quite realise just how many Minis there are on the road until you're driving one, and then you see them everywhere. If you're a Mini enthusiast, yeah, you'd be checking this car out because it looks cool. You're probably looking at it going, wow, is that a full JCW or is it the Cooper S? And but for everybody else, it's a good looking car. Is it turnback worthy? I just think it's been around so long and become so familiar that maybe it's a bit easy not to look at it. But if it's your car, yeah, you'd definitely look at it. So, sorry, there's no clear answer to that. I'm a little all over the place with it, but bottom line, if it's your car, yes, you would turn back and look at it. Otherwise, maybe not. And the great thing Mini have done is that they've also made the electric versions of this car just as much fun to drive as the petrol. In fact, in some ways, just because the acceleration is faster, maybe even just a little more fun. This car makes so much noise, but no one can hear it on the outside. It's exclusively for the people inside the car. So there really aren't too many cars on the market these days that are just built for fun, and that's very much what the Mini Cooper is about. It's about going out on the weekend, having fun with your friends, going on twisty country roads, heading out to the track. It's not designed to be a practical, everyday family car. It's fun. And it's sort of, I feel like it's carrying on a mid-20th century legacy, sort of started by the VW Beetle and the original Mini too, and still it's carrying it on to this day. Unfortunately, the VW Beetle is no more, but we still have the Mini. So if that's the kind of thing that appeals to you, then the Mini Cooper could be just the car you're looking for.